Hey there YouTube, Ice9 with another Madden mobile video, and in this video I've got a lot to cover. We've got new Road to the Ring players, one of which that you can see here. We also have Ultimate Legends for the week. I'll be talking a little bit about League Season Tournament, maybe going through some of my league mates' teams and just, showing some things and kind of my philosophy for putting a team together. Also, I'm going to be going through the Cam Chancellor, the silver medal set, and kind of what I'm doing to try to complete this set because I am working on it. So let's start out with the new Road to the Ring players. These have been out all year. Been a very, very cool event by EA, a live event that you could use to get a bunch of good players. They're not always necessarily the best players at their position, but earlier in the year, they were pretty good players and they were attainable entirely by playing live events, which is pretty cool. But now we're starting to see some really, really good players as a part of this. And the first guy we got to talk about as part of this is 98 Nate Sauter. Now, this is the first 98 offensive tackle that we've had in the game, and it's a surprising place for it to come from. It didn't come from Ultimate Legends, it didn't come from positional heroes, although we will have 98 offensive tackles, should have 2 of them as part of positional heroes. But it comes from an event that we can play, just use the stamina and play the live event and just get this player if we're lucky. So at this point, I don't have him. I've got 2 rings, Super Bowl 31 and 38 or 37 rather to get Sauter. But let's take a look at his stats. 79 speed, which is pretty good for a tackle, with 91 acceleration. That means he's pretty quick. 95 unboosted strength. That's very, very high. He's not going to need a lot of strength boosters. 94 pass block, very solid number. 94 run block, so balanced. And 97 impact block, which is a high number. So that combined with the strength and the speed and acceleration means that this guy will be pancaking people when he blocks. So pretty cool, and the best player at his position, I do believe, at this point. Some of the other players, 96 wide receiver, another wide receiver, Santonio Holmes, fast, not very strong, decent catch and acceleration numbers, decent jump number, and very elusive. For people who don't have any of the other top wide receivers, he's going to be a good choice, but I can see for the top teams not being really anything of interest. Another 96 defensive tackle. Tackle, as I've gone through before, defensive tackle is a very, there's a lot of good players at this position. This looks like another good one. Good acceleration and speed. Decent tackle number, decent hit power, really good power moves. He doesn't have a boost though, so if I get him, I would probably sell him, I would think at this point, but Darnell Dockett's a pretty good choice at defensive tackle. And again, you don't have to pay a bunch of coins to get him. All you have to do is play the event and get lucky. Alright, and our second 98 from the new Road to the Ring players, Clay Matthews. A lot of people on Mudhead, I've been noticing, seem to like this guy better than Super Bowl Ray Lewis. I'm not sure if I fall firmly into that camp. Speed is not bad, but it's a little bit low. The coverages are decent. Acceleration's really good. Unboosted awareness is good. Tackle numbers high. Pursuit's very high. So this is going to be a really good player if you don't have Lewis, or if you don't have Michael Kendricks or someone like that. This will be a really, really good choice at middle linebacker for you. The play recognition is 95, which is very high, but not quite it's about the same as what Lewis's is. So I think he's kind of a There's some things he does better than Ray Lewis's Super Bowl card, and there's some things that I think are not quite as good, but certainly a very good player. So that is pretty cool. So all these players, I might invest some money in stamina refills and play just so I could get some of them. And then now onward to our Ultimate Legends, and we're going to check these guys out. And we're seeing a new strategy. I'm seeing a new strategy by EA with this. And really this week, it just sticks out in this card right here, kind of what EA is doing. And I'll go through a little bit of that with Ultimate Legends. But this version, this is again a rehash kind of. They've already had a 96 Legend version of Sean Taylor in this game, and a lot of people like him. A lot of people play him. Fast, strong, good hit power. Not the greatest coverage, but decent, good play recognition. Plays better than his coverage and play recognition would indicate. And now if we look at this card, the 98, play recognition is 89, which is identical to the Legend card. His speed's 92, which is 2 less. He's a little stronger. Some of the other stats might be a little bit better. The coverages are a little bit better, I believe. But as a whole, this is not that big of an upgrade other than 2 more overall than the 96 card. So it's kind of puzzling. And when you look at this, let's go to the auction house. And we're going to look up Sean Taylor. I was just watching the undercutting happen with Nate Sauter, and it's crazy. So we're going to look at all versions, 96 and up of Sean Taylor. And just kind of look at this. So this is the old Legend card. 2 less strength, a little bit less acceleration, tackle numbers 1 lower. Coverages are a little bit less. But everybody knows, everybody's played this guy essentially, and they know how good he is. And 94 speed, so if you got some speed boosters, gets him up to the mid to upper 90s, which is really, really good for a safety. I forget what the hit power number is, but it's high. And just all in all, pretty good card. And now, it's been hovering around 300,000 for quite some time. Still in demand. Now we see the 98 version, the set version, and it's already going for under 1 million coins, 600,000 coins. This is a deal, and there's a reason why, and it was kind of a good move that EA made. But along with, we might as well go into that now, and we'll come back to this actually, because this is really important. Obviously, for this week, they have changed the way how the Legend packs are gone. Ultimate Legend packs are gone. Didn't even realize that, but EA has made a pack where it's an Ultimate Legend pack, basically, and everything you get from it, you get 1 Ultimate Legend item. So that means the collectibles are out there for the 98 versions of these players, the non-boss versions, and they're a lot more attainable, and that's driving the prices way down, which is a good thing. I can't really fault EA for that, but the one thing to know about this, because they've made the Ultimate Legends easier to get, the 98 versions, by doing this, is this version is really more of a sideways comparison to the old 96 card. And you look at this boss version, now what you're looking at is the best safety in the game, and you could play this guy free safety or strong safety, it doesn't matter. Very high speed, high strength, perfect acceleration, great tackle numbers, very aware, 94 zone coverage, which is excellent, 99 pursuit, 102 hit power, the same as the 99 Cam Chancellor card, but a little faster, and the coverages are a little bit better. Also, the play recognition is a super high, extremely high for a strong safety of 95. That's higher than Chancellor. It's almost as high as Ed Reed. So right here you have the best safety in the game, bar none. There's no doubt about it. And you could play him at either side. And so, I mean, this is a cool thing, but it's such a difference. Like, with the 98 version of Megatron versus the 99 version, there were small differences. With the 98 version of Jason Taylor versus the 99 version, there were differences, but they weren't this substantial. I mean, this is a huge difference between these two cards. And because you could only get the boss version of the cards by going through packs, uh, it's definitely dependent on luck, and it's going to be a tough thing to get any of these 99 players for the vast majority of people. But at any rate, that's your best safety in the game. That's a really good card. And let's go on to our second one. In Des Bryant, and another wide receiver joining the ranks of, I mean, there's all kinds of wide receivers now. And when we look at the 98 version of this, there is nothing spectacular about this card at all. 95 speed isn't bad, but it's not phenomenal. 78 strength is kind of average. Agile, acceleration is good, not great. 96 catch out of a 98 wide receiver. Not an especially tall guy. So he's got 97 jump, but when you look at this card right here, there's a lot of wide receivers better than this card right here. But let's take a look now and see how wide receivers 98 and up are shaping out, because we got a lot of choices. I've gone through some of them before, so I'll try not to dwell on those too much. But there's the 98 Jeffries card. Sounds like a lot of money. You can see his stats as compared to flashback Andre Johnson. The only thing he is a little bit more agile. Here's the Des Bryant card. He's a little bit more elusive, which will be good for screen passes maybe, and the agility. But other than that, nothing is better. Hines Ward card, his carry's better. He's a little bit more elusive. Strength is really high on this player, but that's Super Bowl players. Not many people are using those wide receivers. Here's Calvin Johnson card, and the good thing, this is a really good card for people. It's going to be going under 1,000,000 coins, and 6'5" with 95 speed. So you could kind of see this stats on this player as opposed to Des Bryant, and there's going to be a lot of improvements just from the fact that he jumps higher and he's taller. He's also very elusive. So this is a really good card, and when you look at it, you could say that when you look at this card and you look at this one, which one would you rather play? It's a no-brainer. You would play Megatron, in my opinion. All right, so here's the boss version of Bryant. And considering he's a boss card, look at all that red from Andre Johnson on this card. Carries lower. Awareness doesn't really matter. It's a little bit lower. The catch is 98 on a 99 boss card on a 6'2" wide receiver. Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I know that OBJ will boost him up, but it seems like a really low number. Even though 98 catch is high, it's just, why is that number 98? It doesn't make any sense at all. The jump's extremely high. He's very elusive. So this is going to be a great player, but not the best boss card I've ever seen. And again, you compare this 99 boss card to boss Megatron, and it again is a no-brainer. You would take Megatron, I would think. And we've gone through some of the other choices before, so I guess we'll just leave it there with that. But this is an interesting thing that we're seeing with EA changing up a little bit, and the Ultimate Legends, the boss versions, being so much better than their non-boss set versions of these cards, and the set versions of the cards not being really as good as a lot of cards in the game. Here's another example. Rod Woodson, and some really good stats here, but 92 play recognition, I believe, was just the same number as his legend card. So once again, and faster, and probably got some better numbers in here, good man and zone coverage. But if you look at this guy, as opposed to, let's look through 98 cornerbacks. Already gone through some of the choices, but I got one guy in particular. And here you go. So here's Woodson's stats. A lot of red from Dion. Some of it's not important red, but the man coverage is, I mean, there's other corners with 98 and higher, and there's other corners that have 94 play recognition and higher. So this is kind of a taller corner, but why would you play this guy over this guy? Speed's one less, he's shorter. Good tackle number though, very agile, really good, almost Dion-like stats at coverages and play recognition. So this would be the better choice, the positional hero over the ultimate legend card. And just kind of an interesting thing that we're seeing in EA, there's a big drop off between those set 98 players and the boss versions that you can only get by pulling from packs or buying, usually for expensive. They're usually expensive at the auction house, but at any rate, that's what EA's doing, and I just felt like I need to point it out a little bit. So, on to the silver medal master player, Cam Chancellor, where they've added the zone and the tackle boost, making him a lot more desirable, and I've been chipping away at this set. And I started going with the bronze players. Sniping them takes forever, but I'm going to show you guys how I am basically doing the medals, the trophies from this set, and doing them in a way that while I'm doing it, I'm basically staying even at coins and getting all the trophies I need for the set. I'm almost done with the trophies. If I go down here, and the only reason I'm covering it now is because I'm almost done. I might as well show how I'm doing it. But I'm almost down to the Ravens. Yeah, I'm down to the Rams for silver trophies. So I have Rams, Ravens, Redskins, Saints, Seahawks, Steelers, Texans, Titans, and Vikings. I got several more sets to go, but I'm most of the way done with the trophies in the set. And here's how I've been doing it. Showed you a little bit of this, and I believe it was my last video. But because the extremely high price of elite trophies, what I've been doing is I've been getting gold players and putting them into the 10 trophy set. And I've been trying to do it in a way where I could just set the, basically my bid and go is basically what I'm doing. So I'm at 1500, 1800, which is not stealing the player by any means, but I work a lot, and I don't have time to be just grinding through, so this is more time is money type of way of doing it. So I'm going to go back in time and start bidding on players. There's no bids as of yet, and I'm going to do it in a fashion that I'm going to do a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to ensure that I get some of them, is basically how I'm going to do this. So I'll just go through this. I might spend, believe it or not, an hour going through and just doing this and keep going back. And you'll get outbid a lot, and it's a pain. You got to go through and get your coins back and all that, but you will get some that fall through the cracks that way, and you're not sitting there babysitting every single auction. That's a little high, but not too high. And basically the economics, how this works out, That's enough. That's a good demonstration of how I'm doing that. But then we go to upgrades and sets. We do the gold player trade-in. Got enough to do the set. And you really have to do this a lot. But the only reason this is basically working is because the prices of elite trophies remain high with all the different sets that are requiring elites at this point. The Michael Irvin set. People are still doing the flashbacks. So basically, on this one, I didn't get any elites. I got one gold, and gold and above I sell. And the bronzes and silvers go into the set. I don't know if I have enough to do it again. But that's basically it. So if you're paying 15 to 1900 coins per player, that means that if you get one elite and sell for 15 and you get anything else like a gold, basically a gold and an elite covers your costs. And what I found, and I've been at this a while, obviously with how many of the Camp Chancellor sets I've filled, is I've been able to keep my coins basically the same or even raise them a little bit and put the trophies in there. So here we go. We have some more silver trophies. Unfortunately, a lot of them from that last set. And then we go off and find the next bronze set. Still needs them. We're almost done with the bronzes. And there we go. So that's how we're doing it. I'm on to my last team for bronze trophies, and I'll be there with silver soon by using this method. And that is what I'm doing. And what that's allowed me to do is the cost of Camp Chancellor, if you buy trophies and the players, all the silver players and bronze players from the auction house, is somewhere in the 3.1, 3.2 million coin range, which I do not have that amount. I have 1.8 million, and I've got some auctions out there, a bunch of gold trophies and some elites from using this method. So basically right now I've got right there maybe 2 million coins, something like that. And that's not enough to do the set. And the biggest part of the cost of the set is the 75 silver players per team. So I haven't even started on this yet because I don't even have the coins to do it. So what I've been doing is kind of biding my time, playing live events, trying to get some of the silver players to kind of try to get ahead on that and, you know, reduce my cost that's going to be needed for some of the silver players. I know people have done this set in a day or 2 days. That's absolutely insane. I have no idea how they did it. They had to just straight 24/7 hammer the auction house. It would be the only way that I could see to do that, or have a lot of bronze and silver players on the bench, which you could only have 1,200. So you really got to work the auction house to do this. So the way I've been trying to do this is in a way that's kind of you know, purposely go after the set and try to get it done, but do it in a way too so it's not going to drain all my coins. But basically, once I get done with this method with the gold players into the 10 trophy set, into the trophies, golds and hires, sell the golds I'm selling for 5,000 a piece, $49.99, and the elites are kind of going down a little bit depending on the time of day, but basically I'm getting 15,000 and above for those trophies, and that is keeping me above water, keeping my coins up there so I'm not really losing. So essentially with the work I'm doing with that, I'm getting the trophies for free. That'll should leave me with enough coins or very close to it to get all the silver players. That's going to take a lot of time to get all those silver players for the set, but at least it puts me in position to where I can do it and I could get Cam Chancellor. So that's what I'm working on doing. I wish I had the kind of coins to splash around and I would just go get the 99 Sean Taylor card right now. Probably put him at free safety and then put Cam at strong safety when he comes out, when I unlock him. But I cannot do that at this point. So I am picking and choosing my battles. I'll be hammering Road to the Ring today. The next one doesn't look like a great event. Pass to the primary receiver 4 times. Hopefully later there will be an obstacle course or something like that. And depending on how I'm doing, I might put in some cash for stamina refills and just see how I can do with that. I'm not too interested in Matthews, but I'm sure I could get some coins out of him, or at least, keep him and have another great middle linebacker. And also, I definitely want Sauter. I mean, he's the only 98 tackle in the game at this point. I would say when you look at my tackles, for example, and here's Munoz, and he's a better pass blocker than run blocker. This is not a spectacular card, though, even though it's a base 96. And you compare him to Lane Johnson, and I think Johnson is the better player by far. He boosts himself with run block and as well Kelsey if you have him at center, either version of him. And the impact block number is higher. He's faster. So this is, even though he's a lower overall, I believe Johnson's a 94. I think he's a better player than Munoz. So I don't know if I throw in Sauter and he takes my offense to 102 in place of Munoz, I'll obviously do that there. But if I got to put him for Johnson, I don't know, I'll kind of hesitate. Even if he takes me to 102, I might have to take my offense down to 101 by putting him back over for Munoz. I'd prefer to replace him. So that's my team, and I get some questions from league mates about their teams and kind of, what they're doing and things like that. And so let's take a look. So me and my man Gak were talking yesterday, and he is the only guy in our league to have CJ2K. And he was hoping that CJ2K would increase his overall. Right now, his team overall is 100, and with Barry, he had Barry Sanders on his team, it was 101. Okay, so let's go through Gak's team here and take a look at it. And you can see there's a lot of similarities with my team. There's a little bit of a difference in philosophy. Gak likes higher overall players if he prefers them. So as an example, take this guy who absolutely smokes most of the stats for Ramon Foster. No boost, but a better overall player. And Frederick, who's dirt slow, but that's okay at the center position, but a better blocker all the way around, and especially in the pass block and impact block numbers from game changer Kelsey. So with me, this is preferring to go with a boost instead of going with the best overall player at the position. But as time goes on, and what you'll see, and if you've watched my videos, you've seen my legacy team, and you've seen a bunch of good overall players at the position and only really a couple boosters, and those boosters were like the 99 domination Richard Sherman and 99 gauntlet Cam Chancellor. Not many boosters on that team, because it does get to the point where if you get a good enough player at the position, you play with the best player and not the boost as a whole. But I still have a pretty heavily boosted scheme, and let's try to compare some things with the teams. So a same player right here. I've got a speed boost at cornerback with DRC and one more strength booster. He has more acceleration because he has CJ2K. Alright, so looks like somebody's probably outbidding me at the auction house with those auctions that I put in. But if we look at CJ2K's numbers, the catch number is higher. Again, a great halfback to throw to in terms of running smash or any of the halfback wheel type plays. Not quite as strong, not nearly as strong, but a little bit more elusive. Basically a finesse back, as they say. But what Gak was asking me about is comparing to Barry Sanders. Okay, so Barry's got the dual boost. The awareness boost still does help my team. There are guys who need that much of an awareness boost. And he's got an agility boost, which is not quite as useful, but it does raise your overall a little bit. And Barry boosted up on my team, you could see. Very high speed. Strength is very high for Barry Sanders' card. There's a lot of strength boosters on my team. Blocking numbers are not as good. Numbers are generally not as good as Emmett would be at a fullback, but I do like Emmett at halfback. But the boost, especially an awareness boost, will raise overall a lot. So that's the reason I think more than agility, why Gak's team would be back down to 100, even though he went to a higher overall player in CJ2K. But the thing is, an acceleration boost is better than either of Barry's boosts. Won an auction. There you go. So let's take a look at the defenses. There's a lot of similar players on the team. We both got Atwater. We both have Dawkins. Play them at different places. Both have Super Bowl Ray Lewis. We both have Team of the Week, the Super Bowl MVP, Von Miller. He's got Lawrence Taylor. He has Deacon Jones as opposed to Jason Taylor. We both have Peppers. Both have Mean Joe Green. I've got Don Terry Poe at tackle. He's got the equal overall Vince Wilfork in there. We both got Dan. So you can see, I mean, just a lot of parity between the two teams. And let's see on here who might need an awareness boost. So LT has 99. I think Deacon has 99 pretty easy. Peppers, though. So he needs all the awareness boosts that he can get. And even with all the awareness boosts that we both have, he's at 98. So he's not maxed out. And Pepper's days are kind of numbered on my team. I'm just waiting for a good opportunity. And, you know, with it being kind of hard to make coins, I've got to focus on one player at a time. Next player for me is Cam Chancellor. Other than that, I don't really care. I'm not really making any plays at any Ultimate Legends or even positional heroes. I'd like to have Chris Harris on my team. I'll talk a little bit about that. But, you know, Peppers is one of those players that has to be replaced as long as we could keep an acceleration boost or get one somewhere. And that's really the big thing for Gak about his team. He put himself ahead by getting this acceleration boost and being able to get rid of a guy like Peppers and get a higher overall defensive end, maybe a better player, although Peppers is pretty good defensive end. Next thing we see, I opt for the booster at cornerback 2 and DRC. Ty Law is a pretty solid choice as a cornerback, and he's got a boost as well. He's quite a bit stronger than Cromartie. Just a really solid choice, Ty Law is, and he's going to be a great cornerback moving on. You can see he's at 99 awareness. Another awareness problem, though, on the team. There's a couple of them. Dawkins needs a little extra help. He's on 99 on both his team and I believe my team. And Atwater is definitely a problem with awareness boosts. So with the Atwater, I already have my replacement picked out, and then my assumption would be that Atwater would not be on the team at all. The two players that I want to get rid of on defense are Atwater, want to replace him with Cam Chancellor, and my intention is to get Chris Harris Jr., the positional hero, and move him to the corner two. Then move DRC to nickel for the boost. Nickel's a position that doesn't require as physical a player, just a good cover cornerback. So if you want to put DRC anywhere, I think the nickel is the place. And then, even though I'm going to be losing the double boost, I think Dawkins' time has kind of come, I would think. Got to get rid of Dawkins and get a better player at the dime position on third and long plays, or plays where the dime is going to be on the field. I need somebody who's going to be more likely to make a play on the tight end. Again, Gronk being the biggest problem to defend in the game. That solution, in my case, would be Night Train Lane. So that'd be the player that I prefer to play at that position. So that's what I intend to do, but I can't buy Chris Harris right now and shuffle the whole secondary along. So I can't do that at this time. So I just got to start with Chancellor and then start working my way down from there is what I'm going to have to do. And maybe in that time a better cornerback does come out. He's got a couple players that's still on his team, and if he finds a way to replace him, this is going to increase his overall and his gameplay. And I didn't get to talk to him about this yesterday. We were just chatting while I was at work, and I was really busy, so I didn't get to address it. So now I will. So Moore's got to go away. He's got to go bye-bye. This guy has picked me off plenty of times. I think he plays better than some of his stats indicate. But I do think at the nickel position, I want a guy who's a cornerback. I prefer it just for the man coverage. A lot of times in the slot, OBJ is going to be there. And with OBJ, you need somebody with better speed and better coverage stats than William Moore. So on the back end, and he's not a really good booster either. He boosts Dion's tackle number, but big deal. I think that would be the guy that I'd recommend for Gak, for that guy to go away. The second one is Eric Berry with the great double boost. The coverage stats are not fantastic by any means, and he's a 94 overall. So from a gameplay point of view, even though he's really strong, he boosts strength, he boosts awareness. I think the time has come for Gak to start taking a look at replacing this guy, either by replacing one of his safeties and shuffling Dawkins down to the dime position like I've done, or just something else to do there. Maybe start working on the Cam Chancellor set, replace Atwater, and then shuffle Atwater to the dime position, or doing something like that. But that Cam Chancellor set, I know, is not an easy task at all. It's absolutely insane. A lot of people aren't even going to try to tackle the set. By default, it's going to be a lot of labor to do that set. A lot of people are saying, well, I'll do the labor and I will sell Chancellor and then buy him back once he goes down in demand a little bit. I don't know how much that's going to happen for people who are thinking about that strategy just to make coins. So let's take a look real quick at Cam and see what he's going for at the auction house. Alright, so he's going under 4 million coins. He's going nearer to his cost of materials now at 3.7. And I don't know what this guy did to put this player together like that. But this is dumb. At this point, you know, that's getting to a number at a 500,000 coins. I basically made more than that in the last week just by doing the gold player trade in for the 10 trophy set type thing. And I wasn't, you know, even selling all the trophies. So, you know, you could really look at this and say, boy, some people are just really dumb that his price is going down here. But I don't see a lot of people doing this set and doing this, though, just selling this guy for this number of coins. Uh, it's possible, and at that price, you know, I think it would be worth my while to just sell everything I have and buy him at that. So if that continues, that's going to be the way to do it. But the one thing to keep in mind out of this is there's going to be a gold player set coming along. And let's see if there's a collectible. And the silver medal master collectible. So that's the key thing with that. You're going to need that collectible to do the next set, which, again, goodness knows how hard that's going to be to achieve. But I don't know. I like doing these sets at some points. So, you know, this is a really good player at his position. So the gold player, if he's good enough, if it's a really good boosted mobile quarterback, or trying to think of another position, like a really good double boosted defensive end or something like that, you know, it's not going to matter how hard the set is to do for me personally. I'm going to do anything that I can to do that set and get the best overall player at that position that I can. That's what this is all about. So for me, just purely, I'm surprised people are selling Chancellor for that cheap, but purely for the collectible, I'm going to be continuing to do the set. I guess there is one reason why Chancellor would be going that cheap. People are looking to sell him in order to get the 99 Sean Taylor card. That would make sense, I guess. That would make sense. Just taking the better overall player instead of taking the double boosted player. So that would make sense. But that's a pretty long video for the day, and covered pretty much everything that I wanted to. Shout out to Papa Raider, Ryan, and Aiden Sapphire. They are in my YouTube channels. Check out videos from them as well. Papa Raider in particular, he does a lot of videos. He's got some really good content on there. A lot of gameplay, more gameplay than what I do. So be sure to check him out as well. Thanks for watching.